Hello everybody, welcome back to English Otherwise, streaming live on Twitch from my white room, my mental asylum of linguistic blah, whatever. Good morning, mushrooms, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers, sisters, mothers, misters, and to all my cousins. It's time to break down the news, so let's plug in and get this train a-chugging. And so first off, we've got the super cyclone Amphan. Amphan, I'm not really 100% sure. Amphan is bearing down on millions and millions of people in those countries. Bear down on something is to move towards something in a forceful and or frightening way. To really be moving directly at something. As the hero frantically tried to untie the lady from the railroad tracks, the train was bearing down on him. As he stopped to pick up his wallet in the middle of the road, the tram was bearing down on him. It's pretty much always some big scary thing moving at you in a quick manner, and it could cause some danger, some damage. And 10 things Trump would like to distract you from focusing on. Focus on. We like to focus on the interesting little bits of language here in the news. It's just a dependent preposition, focus on, and then as well to distract you from focusing on those things. To distract somebody means to break their attention, because yes, you are trying to focus on something, and then there's this little noise over here that keeps breaking your attention, pulling your attention, drawing, recycled vocabulary, drawing your attention away from the task which you are trying to do. A distraction. Yeah, and that's why a lot of people didn't like open offices, because there were just so many other distractions. Colleagues stopping by their desk, people on the phone, clickety clack 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 of keyboards, and clickety click 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 of people on their mice. Well, it seems like the office might be a thing of the past, but if not the office, then at least the open office. The global workplace is about to change, if it hasn't changed already. It's just not going back to normal. Sows division and confusion in whatever. To sow is an old sort of word which just basically means to plant seeds in the ground so that plants will grow. And so, of course, this is obviously not literal, it's figurative. To sow the seeds of doubt, or to sow doubt, to sow division, to sow confusion. And we also have the idiom, you will reap what you sow. And reap, another old-timey sort of word, which means to harvest. As you may know, there's the guy who is the symbol of death out there. He's got the hood and the sickle, or a scythe, depending on the thing with the big curvy blade, which was used to cut down the hay or the corn or something. The Grim Reaper. And so grim we've had before as well, very serious, often related to death. And he's got the hood and the sickle or scythe for harvesting food. And back to sow, you reap what you sow, meaning you will harvest whatever you plant. And so then moving that into the figurative sense, as idioms go, it just means you will get back whatever you put into a situation. And so if you are being negative or you are causing problems, then you will get problems back. Or if you're doing good things will come back to you. It's a sort of like a farming version of karma in a way. And so you reap what you sow. He is sowing division and confusion, and yeah, maybe he'll get that back. To sow, to plant seeds. And the next one, Trump Cruz COVID quackery. Quote. That's a linguistic term called alliteration. I absolutely love it. Some writers think it's a cheap trick, but to use the same sound at the beginning of successive words. Same sound at successive words. He's doing it. It's just built into my brain. But the Cruz COVID quackery. Quackery, not like a duck. Quack, quack, quack. I've said it before in reference to Dr. Oz, who is sometimes mentioned in the headlines here, who is a sort of TV doctor, and he used to be sort of respectable and legitimate. However, then in the search for more money, he started promoting questionable cures, questionable treatments for illnesses. And so then people refer to him as a quack. The state of being a quack is quackery, and that's to be sort of dishonest and or fraudulent in trying to trick people in turn when related to health. It's just related to health and doctors and so on, not ducks. Yeah, and so a quack, to be a quack, quackery is about fraudulent, dishonest, or misleading information and or sales regarding health and health products. The last time the sun was this quiet, Earth had an ice age. Ah, yes, we had the Stone Age, the Iron Age, the Bronze Age, the Steel Age, the Ice Age. We often use age just for a period of time, an era, if you will. Natural disaster, nature defeating man's attempts to contain it, to control it. 2 dams failed. 9 feet of water, that's like 3 meters of water in this town, and so they are evacuating citizens. Recycled vocabulary. But a dam, it's a man-made wall meant to keep water back. Leaking out through the dam, recycled vocabulary. Dam just burst. Yeah, it's a bummer. A company which was touted, or which has been touted by Trump. We've got a reduced relative clause. The company which was touted or has been touted by Trump. Passive, reduce that. Holy moly, that's a lot of money. And for a wall that won't do anything and we don't need. To tout something means to promote it, to try and persuade people to use it, to buy it especially. It was touted as the next Kobe Bryant. Hydroxychloroquine has been touted by Trump as an effective preventative and or treatment for COVID-19. Fraud, as usual, trying to trick somebody and doing something dishonest for personal gain, usually involving finance, money. We have insurance fraud, tax fraud, bank fraud, check fraud. From remember when people used to write checks before plastic credit cards and so on was so common. A lawsuit, and so they're going to go to court to prosecute him for fraud, or them, Trump, family, and company, for fraud. And often somebody makes an allegation. See, I'm just recycling the vocabulary here for anybody who has listened to previous episodes. I do my best to keep it coming around full circle. However, thankfully, thematically, the vocabulary lends itself well to being reused. There have been allegations of fraud, financial impropriety, not being proper, and then the judge had to listen to some of the arguments to see whether or not this lawsuit had any merit. The judge has ruled that the lawsuit can proceed, which means can move forward. It can start and then progress, because sometimes people bring up fraudulent allegations against people, accusing them of things, and the accusations themselves were not actually true. Fraudulent as an adjective, fraudulent allegations, legal language, stuff with the courts. Hopefully none of you ever get prosecuted for something and have to go to court. Stay between the lines, yeah? Fly under the radar. Russian coronavirus cases rise as Putin's popularity plunges. Oh, there's that alliteration again. The writers here love it. Putin's popularity plunges. Yeah, and also in public speaking and writing and other things, not always just with alliteration, but that's a technique called tripling, because, well, as you all know, 3 is the magic number, and we love to put things in 3s, be it arguments, adjectives. It just seems to be human nature. And so Putin's popularity plunges. We've had plunge many times. Another synonym for that in many ways is to plummet, and that just means to drop off quickly, to go down, to fall very quickly. Often interchangeable with plummet, but technically plunge is usually into water, we're thinking in the physical sense, whereas to plummet is typically like off a cliff, and you often hear plummeted to his death. There's a tourist taking selfies in front of the Grand Canyon or someplace, and they're like, oh, one more step back, ah! and they fall and plummet to their death. Whereas the cliff diver jumped and did 2 flips in the air before he plunged into the water. Now, if you get a big cut on your arm and then the doctor needs a needle and thread to sew it back together, those are stitches. Or if you're just fixing some trousers or something along those lines, those are stitches as well. And so to get stitches was finally sent home in stitches, meaning the doctor stitched them up. The up there in the phrasal verb, like many phrasal verbs, means completely. And so that way it's completely closed, just like, not related to stitches, but up in terms of completely. I'm going to drink up. No more coffee. Oh. A motorbike mishap put an end to my Thailand travels. Think about it from context. You can probably figure it out. Prefix miss, meaning badly or incorrectly, and then the hap, ding ding, correct. It is just kind of a shortened version from happen. So if something happened wrong or badly and it put an end to, just means ended. Yeah, often goes with negative things. Politicians are always promising to put an end to corruption, to put an end to poverty, to a motorbike mishap. Actually, it happened to my Aunt Carol as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think in Hawaii, she fell off a motorbike and had to get stitches on her leg, and it was just a horrific operation. Pins and screws and stuff in her leg. Apparently quite common in Thailand as well. Yeah, you know, being rich and famous, especially when you've got plenty of money to buy food and you don't have to worry about feeding your kids or where you're gonna live, and you can just afford to not work and socially distance yourself. Yeah, that's terrifying. And not, when I say poor, I don't always mean financially impoverished. I mean just unfortunate people out there that have it a lot tougher and have to really, truly face the situation and look it in the eye and deal with it on a day-to-day basis and put their lives at risk, where these guys can just sit on their private islands or whatever they want to do. Airport dogs could sniff out coronavirus. To smell a smell, the sense using your nose, like dogs do. Yes, they love sniffing things, especially each other's butts. However, they are used to sniff out bombs, to sniff out drugs, to sniff out other things. And so it just means to locate. Gosh, when I was reading through these, I had some other... To detect. There you go. Yesterday we had the term watchdogs. Government agencies they are watchdogs to sniff out corruption, to sniff out fraud, to sniff out other bad things, I guess. To detect. Finally, just something kind of funny and not related to politics, corruption, Trump, or coronavirus. There's so much laughing gas in these penguins' poop, and so there is nitrous oxide, like the dentist gives you as basically an anesthetic before they start doing the drilling or not to knock you out, make you lose consciousness so they can perform some surgery. Laughing gas. Yeah, in the penguin's poop there's nitrous oxide, and it's making the scientists go completely cuckoo. Means to make them go crazy, but for the writers this is funny because a cuckoo is a type of bird often found in clocks. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Without getting into it, but it's just a synonym for crazy, without getting into the actual species of cuckoo birds and what they do, which is interesting because they squat other people's nests and their babies hatch first and push out the eggs. All right, whatever. Moving on. There's laughing gas and penguin poop. Delisted, there's a big scandal recently about them falsifying sales numbers, committing. And so NASDAQ is going to take them off of the stock exchange as a punishment for their misbehavior, we could say. Even though now in American society it has shifted, and in many, if not the majority of households, women have the highest level of education and they are the highest earners, the highest breadwinners in the house, yet somehow they're still doing a disproportionate amount of the housework and raising of children. Days gone by, the Stone Age. To snub somebody. And here it's used as a noun, but to snub somebody, ignore them because you think that they are insignificant or unimportant. You're just like, whatever. Somebody invites you to their party and you're like, yeah, whatever. Like I'm coming to your party. Like we have parties anymore. Come on. Social distancing. And if you get a chill down your spine, your backbone, It gives you that shiver, yeah? Implies negative, not like chilling out on the beach, just relaxing. This is the bad kind of chill. So we had a chilling truth. Here we have a chilling reminder about Al-Qaeda. Something that kind of frightens you, makes you uncomfortable. Caution, be careful. You can tell that as a fairy tale to children to warn them about the bad effects in the future. Because as the saying goes, if you don't pay attention to history, you are doomed to repeat it. Not always 100% true, but there is truth to it. So do please let me know what more I can do, how I could better serve you, how I could enhance your experience. You can do that on Facebook, on Twitter, here, on Twitch. You can do it in comments on YouTube. Thank you for the input. Remember, I love what I do and I enjoy doing this. However, ultimately, I am here to serve you. That is the job of a teacher. Sorry, I had a little bit of a brain fart there. For English Otherwise, thank you very much. This has been breaking down the news for Wednesday, I do believe the 20th of May. Yeah, pass this along to a friend. Like, follow, subscribe, little bell icon on YouTube so to make sure you don't miss anything. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Wednesday, they call it the hump day because we're getting over and then it's all downhill towards the weekend. Take care. Much love. Bye-bye.